Tell me the women in your experience, would the women in jail have been better served through drug treatment, mental health care, or education, job training? Do you want to sit here for a few minutes? Because this is like one of my biggest things that
Well, if it's one of
I'm
your
a,
biggest things, we want to hear about it.
yeah.
Yeah.
We want to hear
No, I
about
mean,
what your take is on this.
I abhor them putting mentally ill people in jail. And this, okay, so whenever you try to do an emergency detention on somebody, you take them to the hospital. You take them, the criteria for an emergency detention is if they're a danger to themselves or others.
Hmm.
So that means that they may be self-harming or they may be attempting to harm others during their state of psychosis. We will take them to the hospital, and the hospital will reject them because they don't want to deal with violent people in the ER.
Hmm.
They'll assault a nurse or something, and they're like, I want to press charges. So then you take somebody who's in mental health crisis. You have to take them to jail because somebody wants to press charges. It's a felony that's occurred in your presence. Like, I mean, you have to. So you take them up to the jail. They're put in an isolation. They're not medicated. And if they are attempting to medicate, nobody's observing what they're doing with their pills. So they're either trading their pills or they're hoarding their pills. Or, I mean, it is a very sick cycle of just it makes me sad because I look at people like Sierra, who is mentally ill, who is self-medicating with drugs, who goes into jail for public intoxication, gets locked up, put in isolation. Nobody's there to bond her out, so she's there for weeks on like a PI charge, stuck for 23 hours a day, no books, no entertainment, all by herself, trading her medication for meth, and it's just sad. It's the saddest thing. It bothers me. Yes, we
I
would
think
totally benefit from drug treatment, but where is it? Show me,
I
show
think
me
the
where we're putting those on.
I think the biggest part of this, and since you're getting a master's degree in this kind of thing,
Hmm.
I always thought that mental health, the programs are just simply check the box programs where they're literally trying
Hmm.
to cover their own asses
Hmm.
and just check the block and
Hmm.
get people out, which is actually doing absolutely nothing. I think the
Hmm.
mental health system, I think all these like Holly Hills and these Wake Crisis and these little crisis centers, I think they're all a sham. I think they're all a scam.
Hmm.
And I would be venturing to say that I bet you they don't help 2% of human beings because they're more focused on checking the block and getting
Hmm.
people the fuck out than they are actually taking the time. And I get it. There's a lot of people
Yeah.
going through there. There's a lot going on, but there's got to be a better way. And it can't
Yeah.
just be bureaucratic red tape, check the block and get them out because that's just,
Hmm.
it does nothing except waste tax dollars. And look, these doctors and stuff, they're getting paid. They're getting paper. They're getting insurance money out the wazoo. These guys are making money hand over their foot and they're not doing anything for anybody.
Hmm.
Yeah,
And, and why would they? I mean, if we're going to take away, like, so if we're being defunded, if we want to like make this super political, like all defunding the police and defunding law enforcement agencies does, like when you defund sheriff's departments, is taking away from any type of programs that could be going towards crisis intervention training and de-escalation training and things like that that can benefit people in mental health crisis and maybe talk them into going to the hospital, keeping them calm while they're at the hospital so they can be transported to psychiatric facilities instead of sending some rookie with zero training because they had to rush him out of police academy really fast to get him on the streets because we're short staffed, to deal with the mentally ill guy and talk him into fighting somebody. I mean, it all is one big revolving cycle of that all boils down to we're getting our hands tied behind our backs and we can't help people the way that they need to be helped.
No.
So,
somebody asked a really good question, and
mm,
I answer this, and then I want to come back. Like, let's not ask another
mm,
question because I want to come back to something that I want to bring up about this mental health thing and fairness.
mm.
But Titan Uranus,
Ooh.
as there Uranus here, a Titan Uranus. How, if at all, has being on that show changed the way you police? I think it's a really good question.
So it did not change the way I policed, as in like, oh, now I'm kinder, gentler of a cop. It didn't change that. It made me more empathetic to people. Like when people run, when people flee, I'm maybe not such a douche to them. When I catch them, it's like, no, I totally get it. If I was about to go back to jail, I would run too. Absolutely. I would do everything I could to not be arrested because it's always like, man, why would you run? Why would you get yourself an extra felony charge over some misdemeanor crap? Idiot. Now I get it. So I can relate to that a little bit better. When I take people to the jail, if it's during a mealtime or if they're going to miss a mealtime, I'll always request for them to get food because I know what it's like to be hungry in there and to miss a meal in there. So I'll make sure when they get there, they get something to eat. I take a few extra seconds, maybe let them make a phone call before we head to the jail. Maybe let them call their job, let their job know that they're headed to jail. Kind of give their boss a little bit of heads up. I've helped people save their careers like that instead of being no call, no shows, taking the extra. I am in no rush to get somebody to the jail. There is no need that I need. There is no need for me to throw somebody in the back of the car and haul ass to the jail when I can take an extra 5-10 minutes. Hey, if you need to call somebody, are your kids getting ready? Do you need to pick your kids up from school? Can we call somebody to make sure they're coming to get your kids? Because going to jail can ruin somebody's life in an instant. And as officers need to take that into consideration that we're actually dealing with real human beings and we don't need to make the decision to take them to jail lightly. And if we can prevent them from losing their jobs or losing their kids or kind of, give them an opportunity to call somebody who might have bail money for them. Like there's no reason why we can't do that. If they're going to be a dick to us, I'm not going to do anybody any favors. If you're going to sit there and be rude to me and degrade me, I'm not going to coddle you and try to make you feel good when clearly nothing I say or do, I'm not going to bend over backwards to help you. But there are things that I can do. And if somebody truly needs help, I'm happy to take that extra few minutes and do that for them. So
That's great.
That's kind of how it changed.
That's kind of like the joys though also is like you're part of a smaller department. For us, it's if we're going to make 3 arrests a day, 3 arrests a night. If you're not going to jail 3 times in a 12-hour shift, you were either on special assignment and you were the watcher, or you're a shammer and everybody's going to hate you because that was our job. So, but for us, if you were taking too long going to the jail, your phone was blowing up with texts like, yo, what are you doing? You need to clear the jail. You need to get out of there. Let's go. Get back on the street. We're getting hammered out here, So for us, and it's weird because I never thought about these things until you said it. But yeah, for me, I was more of like an emotionally shut off thing. Like, okay, you're going to jail. Get in the back of my car. Shut up. Nope. I'm sorry. Your phone's dead. That's your fault. Like everything is your fault. It's all your problem. I don't have time to deal with you. And I pass them off. I think now, like hearing your story and kind of hearing what you have to go through, that maybe if I was a cop, I would have taken a little bit more time.